This is the story of Andy Dufresne, who is the banker of a very big bank. A judge sentences him to life imprisonment for the murder of his wife and wife's lover. He is sent to a prison from where no prisoner has ever escaped. The name of this prison is SHAWSHANK Redemption. There are prisoners in this jail who spend their whole life here. Life outside was different when Andy came to jail, and now the outside world has changed completely. The rules and regulations are very strict here. If someone makes a mistake or tries to escape, they are beaten half to death. Andy doesn't talk to anyone for a long time. One day he meets a prisoner here named Red. Red can make anything from outside in this jail. He has been in this jail for 20 years. Andy tells Red that he needs a hammer and a large poster of an actress. Red asks Andy, "Do you want to tunnel into the prison with that hammer?" Andy replies, "When the hammer comes, you'll understand yourself." Red warns Andy, calling over 3 prisoners and telling him that all 3 have filthy eyes on him. Andy says, "If I tell them I'm not gay." Red interrupts, saying, "It doesn't matter to them." At Andy's request, Red orders the hammer. When Red sees it, he thinks to himself, "It will take 600 years to tunnel through the prison with this hammer." Actually, Andy is fond of carving stones, which is why he got the hammer. The hammer is delivered to Andy. A few days later, the 3 men whose filthy eyes are on Andy catch him. They physically abuse him. This cycle continues for the next 2 years. Andy never complains about it to anyone. There are always bruises on his body and a strange silence on his face. One day, some prisoners are chosen to repair the roof. Red and Andy are among them. Here, the officer in charge is Hadley. He is upset and tells his comrades, "My brother made $30,000 in my name, but it's of no use because all the money will go to the government in taxes." Andy and his friends are listening. Andy goes to Hadley and asks, "Do you believe in your wife?" Hearing this, Hadley gets angry and grabs Andy, taking him to the edge of the terrace. But before he can throw him down, Andy says, "The government has a rule. Any person can gift up to $60,000 to his wife in his entire lifetime, and there is no tax on this money. You will need a lawyer for this. I will do it for you for free. In return, you give 3 beers to all my comrades." The next day, all of Andy's friends are enjoying a beer on the terrace. Andy has done Hadley's work. A few days later, a film is shown to all the prisoners. Andy walks out of the room, but when he goes outside, he is caught by the 3 men who repeatedly abuse him. They drag him to the room where the movie is being played and try to force him once again, but Andy attacks them in the head and they beat him severely. Andy is so badly beaten that he gets hospitalized for a month. The men who attacked Andy are put in a dungeon for a week. When Andy returns to his cell after a week, there is an officer who had learned about how Andy saved $30,000 in taxes. The officer beats Andy so badly that he is handicapped forever. After a few days, the warden of the prison comes to Andy's cell and searches it. This search is an excuse because the officer has informed the warden about how Andy helped save $30,000 in taxes. The warden wants to meet Andy. Andy has a Bible in his hand, which the warden takes. Inside Andy's cell are photos of several actors and a large poster of one actress. The warden says, "Though I don't allow this, sometimes it can be ignored." The most surprising thing is that the warden doesn't find the hammer that Andy ordered from Red. The warden leaves, but then returns shortly. He gives the Bible back to Andy and says, "There is salvation in this." Impressed by Andy, the warden invites him to his office and makes him the assistant librarian. There is an old man in the library who has been managing it for years, and Andy is made to work under him. Andy also starts filling out the ITR forms for the office. As the years pass, Andy's workload increases, and he needs an assistant. he makes Red his assistant. Time passes slowly, and one day the librarian under whom Andy works puts a knife to a man's neck. The government has waived his sentence, but he doesn't want to leave the prison. He has spent 50 years in this prison. It is his real world. He feels that if he kills someone, his punishment will increase and he will be kept in this jail. But Andy and Red persuade the old librarian, Brooks, to release the man he had stabbed. After being released from jail, Brooks feels strange. The speed of the outside world has increased so much in 50 years. Where there was once a car on the road, now there is a crowd of vehicles. Brooks cannot survive in this fast-paced world, so he takes his own life. In the jail, the warden starts a new program called In-Out. The prisoners are taken out to work so they can learn to earn money through hard work. However, through this program, the warden gets many contracts because prison labor is cheap. The warden earns a lot of money, but the money belongs to the black market. Andy helps him with this. He creates fake documents in the name of Randall Stevens and transfers all the money into his account, so if the police find out, they will be looking for a man who never existed. A new prisoner, Tommy, arrives in the jail. He is very young and has been in many districts. When Tommy learns that Andy has helped many people, he asks Andy to help him complete his high school so he can live a good life with his wife and child after getting out of jail. The next morning, the newspaper prints the story, and when the warden opens the safe, he finds not his documents but his Bible. On the first page, Andy had written, "You were right, salvation is in this," and had cleverly cut the page to hide his hammer inside. It's revealed that 20 years ago, when the warden first took Andy's Bible, he had unknowingly handed Andy the hammer that he would use to escape. Now the truth about the warden is out, and the police are coming to arrest him. But before they can, the warden shoots himself. Later, Red's sentence is also waived. He's released and gets a job, but the world outside feels unfamiliar to him after spending 40 years in prison. Red feels lost and considers ending his life. But then, he remembers his promise to Andy. He heads to the large meadow with a big tree and a stone wall. Beneath the black stone, Red finds a box containing money and a letter from Andy. The letter invites Red to Zihuatanejo, the place Andy had always dreamed of. Andy writes, "Hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and a good thing never dies." Red travels to Zihuatanejo, and when he reaches the seashore, he sees Andy sitting on the boat, fixing it, just as they had dreamed of in Shawshank. This is Andy's dream come true, a place of peace and freedom. Red, who once believed hope could drive a person mad, now understands its power, as hope was the very thing that helped Andy escape the impossible and build a new life. The Shawshank Redemption remains one of the highest-rated movies of all time, with a 9.3 IMDb rating. Released in 1994, the film had a $25 million budget and earned $59 million at the box office. Thank you for watching this summary.